Hello and welcome to another wrap-up. Once again, I didn't really read a lot compared to last year. I read 5 books in February. Pretty decent, I think, at least for me. I did not read any manga, which is why... What happened to my voice? Which is why I'm not doing as well, but I think I'm doing still pretty good because it's a lot of... It's only physical books. So let's just get straight into it. It's probably going to be very fast. So the first book that I read in February was If This Gets Out by Sophie Gonzalez and Cale Dietrich, I think. And this follows 2 boys in a boy band, kind of One Direction vibes if you're into that. And one of them, Ruben, is openly gay to the band, but he has to keep it a secret. Meanwhile, his friend and love interest, he doesn't know his sexuality for sure. So we follow Zach finding out that he also likes guys, while Ruben and him fall in love, and there's some drama. Their other bandmates, there's some drama with them, and they have to keep their relationship a secret. So yeah, I did enjoy this, but it wasn't my favorite Sophie Gonzalez book that I've read so far. So out of all of her books, I would not personally recommend this one. I ended up giving it a 3.5, which isn't bad. I liked the plot until I didn't. I didn't really care for the drama that happens with Angel and all of that. I don't know. Yeah, I was a little bit bored halfway through, to be honest, with the plot. It was still enjoyable and fun to read, but I just feel like it wasn't something I really loved or really enjoyed. I don't know. We follow both of the characters' points of view, but I could not tell them apart, which is a negative for me. I did think their romance was cute. The ending was nice. Yeah, I think those are all my thoughts put concisely. Is that the word? But yeah, overall, this is fun, but not the best thing that I've read from this author, nor the best romance book I've ever read. So yeah. The next book that I read was actually a reread, which is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I annotated it. I don't know if you can even tell. Probably, maybe, I don't know. I had a lovely time rereading this. I loved putting my little post-its on, writing down. I completely forgot a lot of this book. If you've never heard of this, this follows a girl called Elizabeth, and she is an orphan that was raised in this library that has grimoires, which are books that are alive. And there are different degrees of how alive, I guess. Basically, there are kind of normal books, and it goes all the way up to books that can talk back to you and open to what you want them to open to, etc. And some that are the highest level, which is 10, if something happens to them, they turn into malefics. Why am I telling you all that? Because one day a malefic escapes the library. Elizabeth defeats it, but then she is the main suspect for the person who released the malefic. And there's this big conspiracy and nobody knows who's behind the malefic, and there's a bunch of libraries being targeted. And it's not her, but she ends up partnering up with a sorcerer called Nathaniel Thorne who helps her. I think that was long-winded. Moral of the story? Magical books. Woman suspected of evil goes to trial. Is not her. Try to find out who it is. I obviously gave this a 5-star again. I don't know if I loved it as much as I did the first time, which is really sad to say, but it's the truth. I think I'm never gonna get the same experience as the first time, which was like, I'm mind blown, I'm in love, I'm obsessed. But I did still really love it. My favorite character is Silas. I love him to death. He can do no wrong in my eyes. Nathaniel is a close second, but I love Silas so much. I still really love this book, even though it didn't give me the same feelings in my soul as the first time. I love every single character. I love the plot. I love the magic. I love everything. If you like YA romance, fantasy romance, I highly recommend this because I love this so much. And you might be able to guess what the next book was. It is the companion or sequel to Sorcery of Thorns, which is Mysteries of Thorn Manor by Margaret Rogerson as well. We follow basically directly after Sorcery of Thorns, and it's a really cute epilogue, kind of a long epilogue, I guess. I really loved it. It was great. I usually don't really care for companion novels or novellas. I think that's what they are sometimes, I don't know. But this was great. I always am the type of person that thinks like, was this necessary? Yes, this was necessary. I love this so much. If you've read Sorcery of Thorns and don't know if you want to read this, if you loved it, I would recommend you read this. It is great, so cute. I gave it a 5-star, obviously. The next book that I read was Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. This follows two characters, Brad and Celine. They used to be best friends but had a falling out. Brad is kind of the popular football dude in their school, and Celine is the weird girl with, trigger warning, a TikTok where she talks about conspiracy theories and aliens and stuff like that. And we basically follow them going to this survival camp thing. I don't exactly know how to explain it, because this expedition thing, if you are really good at it, you get the opportunity of having a scholarship, and they both really want that. Yeah. So we follow them doing that. And it's rivals to lovers-ish vibes. I had a fun time reading this. I, at first, really despised it because of the amount of references, which, number one on the hate list, TikTok. Please, can we not do that? I really hate it. But then after a while I started ignoring it and like turning a blind eye to the references, and I actually had fun reading it. I really loved their relationship. Brad was super sweet and I loved reading his point of view. Yeah, it was just cute and a fun YA romance. Yeah, I guess. I gave it a 4, if that was not clear. And the last book that I read in February was This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, which is one of the books that I put on the 10 books to read this year, I think. I had no clue what this was about until I read it, so here we go. We basically follow this city that is divided in two, into the Flynn side and the Harker side. And from those both sides, we have our two main characters, Kate on the Harker side and August on the Flynn side. August is tasked to going to the same school as Kate to kind of keep an eye on her in case anything happens. They can use her as leverage. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone. And so they go to the same school and stuff happens. It is very confusing, to be honest. And also, this world has a bunch of monsters. They are born from violence, so if there is a murder, a monster is born out of that, if that makes sense. And August is one of those monsters. I'm not gonna lie, for the first 100 pages, I was very confused. Very. I did not know what was going on, but I kept reading. But after that, I finally understood what was happening and what the monsters were. And I did have a fun time reading this. I ended up giving it a 4, I think. For now, that's what it is that I'm deciding. I liked the plot, even though some things were a bit predictable, especially the plot twist. But there were some moments that I did not guess, some plot twists I did not guess, which I really enjoyed. Fair enough that I'm very behind on reading this, and this is old now. But I still feel like this stands the test of time. I don't know what I'm saying. But I still feel like this is a really good book, even though it's old. How old are you? What's your age? From 2016. It's very old. I still feel like this is a good read. I'm going to be reading the sequel this month. Hopefully that one is also good. But this was a very good starting point for me for V. Schwab's novels. I've only read her middle grade, so yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed it. But these are all the books that I read in February. For the shortest month of the year, I think I did pretty well. 5 books is not bad at all, even though one of them was a reread and one of them is 200 pages long. I didn't read anything terrible, which is great as well, personally. So yeah, I don't think it was a very good month or a very bad month. I think it was fine. I'm content with what I read and that I took some books out of my TBR pile, so yeah. But that is everything for today, and I'll see you in my next word video. Bye!